Hello everyone. It's been a month, as some of you might be following. Let's make sure, as always, that all of the sound and all that looks good, and then I'll get into all of the crazy things that have been going on here. Hello everyone. It's been a month. I actually just sound checked myself, so I'll get going. Let's talk about this month. It's been quite a month. In particular, we started with PAX Unplugged. We were at PAX Unplugged. This is our first boothing event as Hedron. We were there to, of course, spread information about Hedron, tell people what makes us great, and just kind of playtest, actually. For the first time, we're at a live event. We've got tablets for players to sit down with, and we tried out playing an actual game of Call to Power, which is my system, live. Nothing but just, here's the tablet, let's go, let's play. And there's, as always, good and bad. And so we're going to view it as a learning opportunity because there is things that went well, things that went poorly. Let's start with the things that went poorly because that is the stuff that everyone gets nervous about, including me. The first day, we had 2 full tables of 6 players each, plus their GMs, sitting down to play Call to Power. And you would expect that, they sit down, they play, and it's just a smooth experience. That is not at all what happened. Instead, everything crashed. Oh no, the servers all crashed. And I think probably anyone on the East Coast probably felt our East Coast server just die. So we had to live fix it, which was not fun for the players. It was not fun for the GMs. It was not fun for me, who was running around trying to make things work. So that's a little tricky. That was a little complicated, but we get through it. We get through these things. So what did we do? After that day, after the feedback from the GMs, we went back to our hotel. As we do. And by we, I mean Hunter and I. You've probably seen Hunter around on the server. And so I was there. I was up till 4 a.m. and I just coded, added new servers, upped our server's power. We quadrupled the available resources for Hedron. In our previous tests, we had only tested with around 5 or 6 players and there was no issues. I think the strain of having 12 was a bit intense. So we quadrupled, and the quadrupling seemed to do well because Saturday we went back into it, hitting the ground running with a completely new setup with more server space, and we had backup solutions for if anything went wrong. And here's the great news. We didn't need the backups. Everything worked pretty much smoothly the second day. And that's not to say everything was perfect still. For both the next day and the day after, we were able to run our sessions through Hedron live. Players would sit down, create an account for Hedron, log into a campaign for Call to Power, and then they were off to the races. It took a lot of low sleep nights to get to that point. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you about every single thing that went wrong because let me tell you, everything that could have gone wrong at PAX went wrong. But we managed to salvage together. We managed to get together and make it happen. And that was what's important. We come back with a lot of knowledge about our server's limitations. We come back with a lot of knowledge about how we can future-proof this and how we can make sure that in the future this never happens to anyone ever again. Which is why we started it with Call to Power. If any system should have that sour taste of bad tech, it should be mine. So that's where we are. I can go into all the technical details, but I will just leave it at that, I think, for now. So you can know that, rest assured, we are going to solve this. We're going to increase our processing power even more. This was always kind of part of the plan. We just didn't expect to have to increase it so soon. That being said, we still have a lot of tricks up our sleeve, so don't expect that this will change anything too fundamentally. Ultimately, it's just going to bring a nicer experience for you when you go to playtesting with your systems. In the same vein, we also were selling merch. If you hadn't heard, we launched a brand new set of merch available for purchase on projecthedron.com. You can log in right now. You don't even have to log in. You could go to projecthedron.com, and at the top of the page, there's this button for merch. You click that, you'll see a bunch of dice sets, which are now officially on sale. You'll see an announcement in your inboxes if you're signed up for an account. You'll get an announcement for not just the sets of dice that are all custom, beautifully made. Nothing is plastic. Everything is either a resin or it's glass. I have to say, I was proud of the blue labradorites, and I am proud of these dice. I would never give you something I am not proud of. So I can say we have those dice available. They're on sale for the Christmas holiday season, and in just general, the holiday season, whatever you celebrate, we have a sale for you. We will have this sale going on for quite a bit of time, so no rush, but if you get it before Christmas, it will be there within a few days. And we will soon be adding the single D20s, so if you're interested in just the D20s, but you don't want the full set, that's a great way to also show your support for Hedron. We will also have pins available, which will have the Hedron logo, which, in case you forgot, it looks like this. You'll get a pin form of this in different materials. We'll have gold, we'll have silver, we'll have nickel, and we'll have black nickel. At PAX, we were selling all of these things for anyone to purchase, and it went well. We sold a great deal of both dice, D20s, and also pins. Now, of course, we're still learning. We're still learning how to run these booths and how to do it in a way that makes sense. So expect we'll continue refining things. But we also made, and this is a good segue, this is me segueing, by the way, that we have made a lot of new friends. We made partners and friends that are interested in using Hedron. And they are as diverse as our own user base. We have influencers who are interested in using Hedron to run games for their communities, to be able to run a campaign live in a podcast form or in a live stream form, and being able to share those experiences with their community, as in like they finish their campaign and they can say, hey, you can get all of the stuff you need to run our campaign directly from Hedron. Here's a link and it'll be on our marketplace, which is one of the big releases this month. We are now live with the Hedron marketplace. You, as a creator, whenever you're ready, can add content, whether that's a single character sheet layout or it could be an entire rule system. You can add it to our marketplace and you will receive 85% of all purchases. We keep only 10%. So if you do math, 85 plus 10% is 95. What's that last 5%? That is going to our credit card processor. They will do all of the handling of refunds and disputes and things of that nature. So overall, that leaves the majority of it, 85% of all purchases go to you, and you are free to set the pricing however you want. Very soon, we'll be expanding those functionalities to also be able to do pay what you want setups, so that people can come onto projecthedron.com, go to our marketplace, and pay what they want for your creations. This is a common feeling in the RPG community, and we want to support it like we've always tried to support the sentiments of our community. That's all for merch. That's all for the marketplace. So let's talk about some shifts, as in we were talking to a whole lot of people this past weekend. We obviously had these technical issues that kind of changed our focus a little bit, and then of course it's been a while since our crowdfunding. So let's talk about how are we holding up, how are we planning to do things in the future, and like how are we looking in terms of some of the big questions people have, for example with Rollgate. In short, we will be creating a little bit of a change to our timelines. You might have been seeing our timeline more or less unchanged since crowdfunding ended, or basically our next milestone, if you weren't paying attention, our next milestone is the mobile app, followed by offline support, followed by 3D battle grids and card systems, and so on and so forth. We are mostly sticking to that. There will be some changes. I don't know the exact changes yet, but let me explain to you kind of why we're doing it. So there were some ideas raised by our community that were like, hey, this is a really good idea. This will make it really easy for new people to build rule systems. If you're really involved, you know I'm talking about ad hoc systems. The idea of creating a rule system that instead of like creating everything all at once and then having to explain every single aspect of your system to Hedron's engine, you could instead create things and create a system as you're playing it. Basically, like, say, I have this stat, I have this other stat, I have this other stat. And as you're playing, you can set up these calculations, and it's not as involved of a process up front, and it's more of like a gradual, you're building up your system. Of course, the problem with this is you won't be able to loop into any of Hedron's really serious automation functionalities, like our macro system, which was released last month, which is, a whole door opening pathway to basically access any of Hedron's functionalities. So what we're going to do is these ad hoc systems will be a good way to start building a system. And then when you're ready, you can click a button and it'll convert it into a full Hedron rule system with full automation and everything you would have expected if you had built it from scratch yourself. The hope is that this will make it easier for people to build systems on Hedron, for people to get going with Hedron, for people to just get on and play and not spend so much time filling out forms and making things happen. Very curious to see what you guys think. I know our community so far, everyone that's chimed in has had a lot of enthusiasm for this. So we will be prioritizing that. We will still be prioritizing the mobile app. As I've mentioned a few times in passing, our mobile app will be catered, at first at least, primarily for playing the game. So for a long time, Hedron's been mainly about creating the rules. And as those systems are getting closer and closer to a state that most people consider like, this is good enough for me, we are going to also be starting to focus a little bit on getting players in and getting game masters in, getting it easier for people to just get into Hedron and play whatever they're trying to play, which has always been the mission from the get-go. So to go in line with that, our mobile app will support primarily that route. We're not going to have a whole lot of homebrewing tools, a whole lot of world building tools. Instead, the mobile app will be catered towards let me get in and let me play a game. If you're from the Rollgate side of things, you can probably guess that this is kind of going to be in line with what Rollgate already does, where it's going to be a lot of functionalities related to playing your game in a smooth, seamless way and having all the functionalities, whether you're playing it live at a table in person or whether you're playing it play by post. So expect that we've not given up on Rollgate. We have not given up on any of those things. We are focusing our efforts on making sure we can do that migration sooner. In the words I've given to someone else, we are going to focus on this non-stop until it is done. That is our number one focus, is to get this mobile app out in your hands and usable as soon as possible. Following that, we will also be doing a surprise goal, a surprise new objective. And basically, some of our partners have indicated an interest in the RPG community related to event scheduling and organizing things at conventions. So we will be expanding some of our session scheduler functionalities, which is something we already were planning to do. Our matchmaking functionalities, again, something we already planned to do. We're going to expand these different aspects that were already planned to basically go one step further and become a event organizing tool. On the small scale, what does it mean for you? If you're a game master with your table, this will mean that you will have a reliable and easy way to have regular sessions at a set time, but then also have a way of creating one-off sessions, having scheduling conflicts get resolved automatically, letting people reschedule session because they have conflicts. We are trying to slay the big bad of tabletop gaming. We are trying to slay scheduling conflicts being the end of campaigns. And so that's what we'll do. So mobile app, then the scheduler, and then we're going to go back to our normal offline support. We're going to be focusing on getting publishers into Hedron, and then we'll be moving on to the other stretch goals. Overall, you're not going to expect a whole lot of change. All the features you've been looking for will be here within the next couple months. It's not going to be a major change, and if it is, that something has gone wrong. We've always been known for ambitious goals, and we will keep being ambitious about our goals. So, what else? Otherwise, things will be as you expect. We're always going to be listening for feedback, listening for whatever you can tell us, whatever you want to tell us. There will be probably a semi-annual survey coming out very soon, so you can tell us, like, where are we focusing, especially for people who don't watch our live streams, for people who don't want to speak up in Discord. This will be a way for you to communicate your thoughts and feelings about where we're going and make sure that we are well aligned with our community as we have always been. Some of the partners that we've also met with at PAX, you'll expect that you might hear more about them. Some of them might be promoted on our platform as like, oh, this is a system that has come on. For example, without alluding to too much, we are in talks with a very big system, brand new system, recently came out less than a year ago. Very huge system is currently talking with us about whether Hedron can have it. So expect some news there. But let's shift gears a little bit. A lot of this was about publishers, about big names. Let's talk about you guys. We want to launch a brand new program, I'll say. And I can't say too much about it because this is a joint cooperation between Hedron and also 9 Realms. If you have been around for a while, you might be familiar with 9 Realms. If you're not, you're probably wondering who the heck is 9 Realms. 9 Realms is a marketing agency and a good partner of ours from the get-go. They are what helped us get our crowdfunding out there. They are what help us keep our socials up to date and active. They are generally our advisors in every capacity. We will be working together to offer a program for indie creators, indie publishers such as yourselves, to work with us, Hedron, and also with 9 Realms to take your concept that you've already come up with and bridge the gap between what you have in your head, what's on paper, what's on Hedron, and what's out in the world. In other words, we're going to give you a program for you to join, and then you as a creator can have a pathway, a clear pathway with mentorship and guides and support to get your system into Hedron, get it fully functional, fully automated, and also send it out to crowdfunding for a public launch. The whole idea being we want to enable you guys to take what's already in your head and bring it to the world. If that's what you want to do, we're going to give you support at every step of the way. Hedron has always been about our community, about making things for you guys. And this is, I think, just going to be the next iteration of that. We're giving you a pathway so that you can have a means to get to the place you want to be with your systems. There'll be more details coming soon. That's all I can say for now. But keep an eye out for the Guild program. That's what we'll be calling it as of right now. Maybe it'll change, but Guild program, so you can join the Hedron Guild and bring your idea to life. That's all I've really got for now. So feel free to drop any of your thoughts, feelings, questions, comments into the chat. I'm obviously reading it. If you don't manage to make it to this live stream, you can always send it on Discord, send it by email. You know that we're extremely active. I should probably have set up like QR codes or something to like be put up here. But c'est la vie. We are here. And maybe next time. That's pretty much it. Let's give a moment. While I'm waiting for anyone to have any questions or comments, I'll tell you about some of the other things that went on at PAX, which is basically the technical stuff of like how we're going to make things better. One of the features we're going to have, and Hunter and I started talking about this, we have images I'm sure will eventually get posted on Instagram of us being exhausted after a long day at PAX. But basically we're thinking we'll have this idea of the mobile app being able to set up local networks so that the local networks can be used to run a game even in a basement. The idea being that you can have offline access. This will kind of go along with the whole offline access. The offline access will be also able to run a game locally. Post link in chat. I was going to say I don't have anything for the guild program, but here's a couple of our other links. Let's put those in here. Let's put the merch link, and then we'll also put, and of course that's the Project Hedron link itself. So I will leave that there. But otherwise, yeah, you'll expect to hear some news from us, some big news. I also want to say for anyone who watches this now or in the future, it is right before the holidays. So whatever you celebrate, happy holidays from us at Hedron. Hope it's a good one. I'll actually also quickly mention the general like direction for like where we're going with some of the other the things we don't talk about as much. So the Hedron subscription systems will probably come online soon, and your lifetimes will kick in. Alongside your lifetimes kicking in, you'll also get your digital flares get activated as well. So expect all of that. Also, purchase of merch will come with free Hedron memberships, at least for a couple months to a year. So it's definitely an alternative way of, if you want to get a membership but you don't want to pay for a monthly membership, that's another way to do it. Just heads up, expect that too. I'll wait another couple minutes. yeah, this was sort of just like a quick news overview. There's a lot of things that are changing at Hedron. Some of the other things that we did recently was macros. I talked about it briefly, but the macro system will open up a lot of doors. It's basically you can create recipes of like step 1 do this, step 2 do this, step 3 do this. It creates a lot of automation opportunities for you guys. It's like when you can create an item that does like a step-by-step, like roll this and then compare it against the target's like armor, and then roll this other thing if the number is higher, and then roll some damage. It basically creates this like complete setup of like you can have full automation of a lot of your game's functionalities. So a lot of doors are opening there, and we're going to keep expanding the macros functionality. An idea I literally just got from like a talk with Brad of Tales Untold, Grimwhirl, is the idea of having items that can break out into further items. Macros could also maybe have the ability to give you items. So that would make it so you could have a campaign give everyone the same equipment at the start, so that everyone starts out with the basic starting gear and things like that. You could also have classes that start out with basic starting gear and things like that. So expect that update. This week also in general, this week and next week, we're going to focus our efforts on cleanup. That's, I guess, part of the timeline talk we were having earlier, is we're going to focus on bug fixes, cleanup issues, things that have been long standing for a while. So expect a lot of these bug fixes and changes to like really clean up a lot of the scuff of Hedron. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. If you think that you have a bug that has not been reported, or even if you have a doubt that you did not report a bug, send it to us, because if you send it to us, we'll make sure it gets fixed this week and next week. Actually, just bug fixes, nothing but bug fixes. I know certain people who have reported a lot of bugs, and I think they'll be very happy to see a lot of these bugs fixed. Okay. It's been a few minutes. I don't see a whole lot of questions, so I will just end the stream there. Thanks everyone for watching. Again, like I want to eventually continue doing like more of a tutorial kind of look here, but with all the things changes, there's the things changing like so constantly, it's going to be tough to give anything that will be useful in like a month from now, especially because we have some major UX changes in the pipeline. They're almost done, and they will change a lot of the site. And you know how it is. We've changed our site pretty significantly in the last couple months, a couple times, hopefully for the better. So far, people have been saying for the better. So assuming I'm not wrong, it seems like it's for the better. Okay. Thanks everyone for joining me. I will talk to you guys next time. See you.